right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. In tonight's episode, we're kicking things off with some quick call-outs from NXT, AEW, and TNA that you don't want to miss. Then we dive into a full recap and review of this past Friday's SmackDown from May 16th. We discuss the big moments, standout matches, and everything in between. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Como estás, primo? I know you're happy with your Knicks jacket on. What?
It is unbelievable to be a Knicks fan right now because for the first time since 1999, say 25 years, the Knicks are going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Congratulations, New York Knicks. Congratulations, Knicks fans. We've been waiting for this for so long, or even just a decent team. This whole thing is still tripping me out. But yeah. Congratulations. I'm excited, brother. I'm here. I'm amped. SmackDown was, a solid episode. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, we're ready. Yeah, man. It's been a fantastic week. I was able to catch up on a couple of other things that we'll jump into as far as like quick call outs for NXT, AEW, and TNA, and then we'll definitely jump into SmackDown. But man, to go back to the Knicks comment, yeah, you're right. It's wild because I've only been catching the highlights. I do not want to watch because the moment I start watching, I feel like it goes downhill. So I'm going to do everybody a favor and not watch. So
yeah. That tends to be a lot of people's take. I know that's definitely what we do to my father. Like we actually booted him out of the rooms on Super Bowl occasions. Actually, at your house one time. We booted him into your parents' room and just he couldn't come out to the living room because the Giants were starting to lose, and it was like no sir, be gone.
go stand all the way over there, like in the bathroom. Go stand in the bathroom.
Bro, essentially that's what they did to him. It was absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, but overall fantastic week for sports and also sports entertainment. Let's jump into these quick call outs for NXT. The three things that stood out to me that were pretty awesome. Obviously, they're building up all their matches for Battlegrounds for their big weekend in Tampa, which I will be again. And I keep saying it again and again and again, but I will be attending all four events, my brother. I will be Saturday night's main event. I will be at NXT Battleground. I will be at Monday Night Raw, and I will be at NXT Tuesday. Dude, my guy.
That's muchos cosas, man. That's like, hey, man. Man, you are Wrestling Jones, dude. Like I'm not worthy, man. It's you have fun. You have a great ass time. At some point, though, the wrestling lag is gonna hit you. Like you'll be like halfway through Raw, you can be like, okay.
It's gonna get to a point where, like, when we record the following week, I'm gonna be like, "What? Can we talk about something else?"
Yeah. What? I don't even remember what day it was. So much stuff happened. It was a 4-day whirlwind of wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. But all right. So for real now, let's jump into the NXT callouts. Right. Awesome segment between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. They had a contract signing. It was really cool. They really up the stakes on how important this match is because it is a TNA World Heavyweight Championship title being, defended on a WWE or NXT rather, but brand, and it's making history. And I'm really, they really made it like big fight feel. So I'm super excited. Definitely try to go watch that segment. Really good. Right. The second call out there, that episode of NXT this past week was Stephanie Vacar and Jordan Grace. They will be going face to face at Battlegrounds as well. But Fatal Influences gets at Stephanie Vacar, and Jordan Grace ends up having a tag match with her against Fatal Influence to protect her investment, right? She doesn't want Stephanie to have any excuse to be hurt or anything like that, to make sure that it's a fair fight and a good fight going into Battleground. I think that's awesome. I like that kind of character build for both of them. Really shows how strong both women are. So really cool tag match at the end of the night. Definitely check that one out. And then Ethan Page attacks Ricky Saints because that's building up to that North American title beef.
Ricky Saints.
And looking forward to that when that ends up. When he did that so perfectly. basically leading up to that match. So those would be the 3 call outs. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole episode was great. But
Right.
those were the things that really stood out to me the most as far as NXT goes. Let's jump into AEW really quick. Just a few things there. MJF finally gets the yes from Bobby Lashley and joins the Hurt Syndicate. It was an awesome segment. It was awesome that MJF jumps on Bobby. Bobby's like, "What are you doing?" Pushes him off, and he's like, my bad. It's cool. I'm in, whatever." And really cool segment. I like how they built this up for weeks now. Definitely, improving on the storytelling tip, right? So that's really good on AEW's part. The cage match between Moxley and Samoa Joe at the end, complete mayhem. It was crazy because the Death Riders come out, the Young Bucks come out, Kenny Omega comes out, even Swerve comes out, basically leading up to Anarchy in the Arena match going into Double or Nothing, which I believe is in a week or so. And yeah, man, those would be 2 of my call outs as far as that goes. And then when it comes to TNA, 3 things that happened there that were pretty cool. O'Shea Jackson is a part of AJ Francis's segment. He has like a kind of like a Miz TV like show. It's called like First Class, and talks about how bougie he is and how much money he got and all this stuff. So he brings out O'Shea Jackson, and they're in LA. AJ Francis makes a comment about LA and how terrible those people are. And then of course O'Shea's like, "Hey man, like I'm from LA. You can't talk about LA people while I'm in LA and I'm from LA." And then Mike Santana comes out to like, even the odds, and pretty cool segment. I like how that played out. And then because of Sabu's recent passing, right, TNA actually had a quick little replay of RVD and Sabu's like match last time they were there together. Really cool. I think that was a nice way of doing like paying tribute, just replaying a quick match of theirs. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And then ultimately the final match of the night, Nick Nemeth versus Jeff Hardy. Those guys can still go. Really happy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really good stuff for TNA. So I was really happy with all that.
No,
yeah, I know. I just spitball right there,
Oh, I mean, you gotta get it all out, man. We gotta learn about all of it because we try not to be. We do tend to stick a lot to WWE just because A, there's just a lot more product of it, and B, we just tend to lean to the storytelling aspect of that better in terms of preference. So no, we're filling everybody in on what's going on is definitely the way to go. So thank you for keeping us up to date.
Hey, I do it for the listeners. Anyways, really quick, jumping into SmackDown coming out of Greensboro, North Carolina. We get the opening of the show. Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax walking in because they're the main event of the night. And then we get a quick Backlash recap video package.
Right.
And then ultimately leading to the opening segment of the night, which is Solo Sikoa. And actually, it's not Jeff Cobb, right? It's JC
Mateo.
Right.
Yeah. Which is kind of like, why did you allow them to call him Jeff Cobb last week? And then all of a sudden now it's JC. Like, at first I was like, first he said, Solo came out and he was like, "I'm my man JC." And that's all he said. And then I was like, okay, maybe they just can do that. And then later on, maybe it was Pierce or something. Someone mentioned that it was JC Mateo. And then that's how he had announced later on. So yeah, like I said, very interesting to be like, you used Jeff Cobb when you got here, and now he's JC Mateo. But
yeah, whatever. Just little things that us as fans, noticed. So ultimately they come out and with obviously Jacob as well. And Solo starts running his mouth about how, he, brought the championship, or he kept the championship rather, within the family, and, starts just blah, 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 until the point where Jacob is like, "Wait a minute, don't get it twisted. Let's keep it 100. I said I was going to do this with or without you." And, all this hoopla, beef, whatever. But that's how I remember it. But I know you're going to fill in the blanks. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, blanks. No, well, what's it called? Starts with Solo saying, when Roman lost the championship, it screwed the family.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to get it back. And it starts with Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a Money in the Bank qualifier triple threat match that night of Solo Sikoa, Big Jim, and Rey Fenix. So he goes on to say, "I'm going to take it, whatever." And then, to your point, yes, that's when he started saying, and then I kept the IC belt here, or not the IC belt, whatever. And he said, I kept it here, and then he starts to go off and try to do Fatu's shtick.
Yeah.
And that's when Fatu is like, no way, man. Like, out of here, dude. But I thought it was really great because Solo was fantastic. He was really great heel mic work. Like, it was really good stuff. And then even when Fatu was going to do it later on, the crowd was behind him, then Solo jumped in again and stole it from him. And I was like, this is good. And this is why, you kind of like Solo coming out of the bloodline and, being supposed to be the next guy and stuff like that. So that was good. Yeah. But fun segment. Yeah. And then he's mentioned once again, the JC Matthew,
Mateo, bro.
Mateo. Matthew, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, and then basically we get an ambush from LA Knight. He comes out and does a run-in to JC Mateo, and then I think that's the end of that segment because it leads up to what ends up going on next, which is Mishin and B-Fab coming onto the screen, our favorite, right?
Listen. Have we done this yet? Have we done the Hollywood name for them? Because if not, Beachin. It's been staring us in the face the whole time. It's been staring us in the face the whole time. Beachin. Bro. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome. All y'all. WWE, all y'all, you're welcome. Make the shirts now. Patent pending, trademark restriction.
That is so good. Yeah, that makes so much sense.
I thought about that today and I was like, oh my God, Eddie's going to love that. I was like, I can't wait. That's going to be a fun one. I was like, there's Beachin.
That's so good. That is really good. And then ultimately, it's a segment about how Michin will be in the triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier match. But then we get Chelsea Green, who's also in the match, comes out saying, no, she will be the one who will win it. And then through her economic relief program, because she's still on this presidential candidate shtick, basically, they start talking smack to each other. Then Alexa Bliss just pops out of nowhere and comes out and catches everybody off guard and says, see you guys out there. And then basically sets up that match, into the ring, the triple threat. And what I will say about that match, it was really nice to see her back in the ring because although I feel some type of way about Charlotte coming back and Becky coming back, I don't have that same attitude towards Bliss. So really happy to see her in the ring for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in that I'm not annoyed to see Bliss come back the same way we've been with when Becky and Charlotte comes, but I think it's because she comes back and it's not going to be that major, just thrown in front push like it's going to happen like right now. Now, she won the qualifier to get into Money in the Bank. They're going to have some build to Money in the Bank, and then she's supposed to win Money in the Bank, assuming they do want to give her like a very strong push very quickly. But these are all things that still have to happen. So you have the ability to long play this a little bit more than you do with Becky and Charlotte, which I think once again is part of our annoyance factor when it comes to that. But yeah, no, great. It was a solid outcome to the match. The match itself, there were some sloppy parts. There was a couple missed shots. Michin was supposed to do like a missile dropkick through the rope, completely missed Chelsea Green, but like Alexa Bliss hit her, so it kind of worked out. There was as I have it written down, the longest tornado DDT ever. From Alexa Bliss to Michin. Like, you're just watching the setup and I'm like, oh man, holy cow. She hasn't even gotten to her head yet. Like, it was very long. But at the end, Alexa Bliss with her sister Abigail DDT, which is really cool. I thought great finish. The right person won, especially because at one point, Michin said to B-Fab, if I win Money in the Bank, I'm going to use it so we can get like the tag title shot. Like, what? Yeah. And that's Beachin right there. So, yeah. So I like the Alexa Bliss win. Thought it was great. Glad to see her back. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. That's fun. That's great.
Yeah, for sure. And then the next segment, we get a replay of Fraxium's hot streak and their win against the Street Profits, which, basically leads into Fraxium versus DIY for their match. Honestly, fantastic match. This is a tremendous way to showcase both teams. And it just further proves and further shows how great the tag division is in SmackDown. I mean, it's so good.
It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. They're 6 or 7 solid teams like truly solid teams there, like a good 6 or 7, like, which is why I'm wondering why can't you just move like 2 of them over to Raw,
right,
and bounce a little bit of bounce, because you're still dealing with the War Raiders and the American Made and Kofi and Xavier, but other than that, it's so depending on who the Judgment Day is, maybe you count them, whatever. But yeah, great package. I mean, the package that they showed did not do that match justice.
Mm-hmm.
That Fraxi and Profits match from SmackDown last week was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Numbers DIY I thought was good. Tommaso Ciampa, he's in shape. Like what? Like I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, man, like you just are just. What do you eat? Just like you have to eat just grilled chicken and broccoli and like water, and like, that's it, because it's unbelievable. But really, really great match. I thought it was fun. Fraction with the win. These guys are hot fire right now. Yeah. Let's see where they go with it, because after them beating the Profits last week, he figured something was going to come into play, and we will broach that situation in a few.
Yeah, exactly. And then don't forget, after their win, DIY attacks them right away, and then they get assistance by Motor City Machine Guns.
The machine guns come down.
Right, exactly. Again, the only thought that I have about that before we move on to the next segment is that the only thing that makes sense why they don't shift some of those teams over just to Raw is because a lot of the teams over there are bigger, right? Because I feel like everybody on SmackDown is the same size except for the Profits, right? Okay. And then if you look at the Raw team side, you got, the War Raiders that are huge, New Day, which Xavier's big. I mean, he's not tall, but he's like meat, you know what I mean? And then
he's
American dude. Made is just a big, squad as well, so that's the only thing that would make sense to me, but you're right. They should try to balance it out.
Just send 1 or 2 over there, just send Pretty Deadly and somebody else.
Yeah.
And now you can really work that tag division angle on both a lot better, because it's tough. You don't want to have teams lost in the shuffle, on SmackDown, because there are so many great tag teams. Because then we still have the goddesses. You still have there's still a whole bunch of other teams. So
yeah. And then we get to one of my favorite segments of the night. It's Rey Fenix talking to Andrade about their qualification match, because apparently they had a tag team match win last week on SmackDown, and they were talking about their match and how excited they are and everything. But here's the 2 things that really got me about this segment, because ultimately the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa and crew come in and are looking for LA Knight, and these are the 2 things that really stood out to me. One, when Rey Fenix said money in the bank, right? He just said it so Latino cartel-esque, you know what I mean? When I win, money in the bank. I was like, okay, Ray, I feel you.
All right. Sure. Let's go.
Yeah. and then the thing that really kind of I was like, oh, Solo, no. He was like, you know where LA Knight is? And they Andrade and Ray start speaking in Spanish to each other. And he's like, right, no Espanol. And then walks away. And I was like, didn't you mean no English? Because they're talking Spanish. There's plenty of Espanol.
Espanol or something. Yeah, man.
Right.
You're slipping, man. You're slipping. I noticed that too. I was like, all right, well, whatever. But as soon as the segment came on, I was like, oh, Eddie's gonna love this. It's Andrade. We're gonna be good.
Money in the bank.
Bang.
I thought it was my Theo talking. I was like, huh?
Oh, shit. What are you doing here?
But awesome segment. And then we get a quick little setup for Nia match later on, as well as the R-Truth one-on-one interview, which I thought was pretty awesome, which happens right after the Street Profits and Fraxium segment, where they run into each other and they're like, oh, you guys are on a hot streak. So much so that you guys are going to have a match with us for the titles, not on Saturday Night's Main Event, not even at Money in the Bank, next Friday. And I'm just like, why aren't we having this match at Saturday Night's Main Event? You know what I mean?
Totally could. You put that match on the card and you're perfectly fine. Because it stinks that we're not going to be able to truly watch that and cover that the way we'd like. That's going to be a great match.
Absolutely.
The first one was fantastic. This was going to be another banger, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was a little upset with that, but I guess, you got to keep the SmackDown momentum going, because honestly, I was a little upset with it first, but then I thought to myself, yeah, but Raw and SmackDown's really been on point. I mean, regardless if SmackDown's 3 hours long, I feel like once they go back to 2 hours, it's just going to be just up to par with Raw, because it is entertaining. I mean, I enjoyed this episode for sure. You know what I mean? Right. So I get it, you know. But then we move on to the R-Truth interview, which basically
he's gonna have a one-on-one with Wade Barrett. I was like, oh man, please let this be as good as it can be. Like, please.
Yeah, and it was. I enjoyed it.
I was entertained.
Yeah,
I was quite entertained. I was great, because just at one point when Wade was like, "Dude, you know how crazy you sound right now."
No, I definitely enjoyed it because he was quoting John Cena the whole time, you know, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Like, R-Truth can't do no wrong. It was fantastic, awesome segment. Hysterical. And it's official. We get the match for Saturday night's main event. And at this point, I'm just like, yes, keep the matches coming. I'm excited.
If I got to beat the sense into John Cena, that's not John Cena. That's not my John Cena. If I got to beat the sense into John Cena, I'm going to do that too. And and now he gets a shot and he's going to get his ass handed to him.
Yeah, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun for sure.
Of course. I mean, that's a fun, because Truth and Cena did have a feud for a little while where Truth was gunning for Cena's belt.
Yeah.
And Truth was actually, because Truth in TNA, Ron Killings was the TNA World Heavyweight Champ. He's held the big title in other places. He just hasn't done it here.
Yeah.
But Truth is, like, for those who don't know, this comedic thing of Truth is fantastic. But if you go back to Ron the Truth Killings in TNA, man, there was a wrestler. There was an athlete. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So he did have a feud going. So I think it's funny to, like, just kind of have that match be kind of like an homage to, like, yeah, they had a feud too. It's Cena's last go around. Let's have him do something fun.
Yeah. And also a good way to, you know, like, to your point that you made in the last episode, it's a good way to get a quick story build up in such a short amount of time for a PLE. So well done, Triple H and Lee Fittings and everybody else. Good job.
Lee Fittings.
Lee Fittings. Right. And then we get Aleister Black heading out to the ring for his match against Carmelo Hayes, which I was super excited for. But in between each wrestler coming out, we get the Damian Priest promo about fighting Drew McIntyre again for the last time in a steel cage match again at Saturday night's main event. Yeah.
In the cage, I was like, yes, let's do it in the cage. Fine, you boys have done it everywhere else. Let's do it in the cage. This will be fun. I'm looking forward to it because McIntyre's great. Priest, we love Priest. Like, so this is going to be a fun match to put him in the cage and let him just work it out. Because once again, this didn't need a quick build to get to the PLE. This has already been ingrained that they've been screwing with each other the whole time. Priest more so to McIntyre. So with having that shot that happened at Backlash where McIntyre was about to win, Priest pulled him off. You immediately built in a match right here that you can do a Saturday night's main event in a couple weeks. You don't have to build the storyline. You just have to have two guys who don't like each other and make that verbally known. And well done. Great promo by Priest. Thought it was really, really good. So, yeah, I was happy.
My only note about his promo was it was very Dom Toretto-esque, like from Fast and Furious.
Family.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just like, we're going to run this in the cage.
I don't got friends. I got family.
But good promo. Very awesome. But then we cut to Carmelo Hayes, his quick promo before walking out on Aleister Black. And I really love this Miz hype man thing going on with them.
Miz is a good hype man, dude. Miz is a good hype man. I love Carmelo Hayes. So I think this is perfect because Miz, for all the things that Miz is and has been to this company, right now they're not using him, as a top tier talent guy. They're using him in this, and I think they're using him in this pairing with Carmelo to also kind of further Carmelo and give him someone to learn the ropes from. Because Miz has been in this industry 20 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's been a long time. Maybe not 20, but like It's been a long time,
I think
so
it's
it's
20. Yeah, for
but
sure.
yeah, it's fun, and he's great at it. He's great at it. You know, he's the perfect hype man. He takes bumps for him. It's fantastic. It's very fun to watch. And usually I'm not a big Miz guy, but this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and a great match between both. I mean, I told you in the last episode, I'm really looking forward to this matchup, and I'm happy to see that Carmelo Hayes looks really comfortable out there, especially with someone as experienced as Aleister Black, because
Right.
the guy at this point, he's a vet as well, and he, I think everything that they did in the match was up to par based on athleticism, speed, everything, and then at first I was kind of pissed that Miz interfered, causing the disqualification.
Right.
But taking a step back, I was like, okay, it saves it for now because they both don't lose technically. But then also we get the bigger match later at some point.
Later at some point, right? I mean, maybe this is the one they put on Saturday night's main event.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe next week they just say, you know what, we can't. Tomorrow night this is going down, or they find a way to work it into like Raw or something, that they're like, after what happened, Aleister Black stormed into, Nick Aldis's office and got a match for Saturday night's main event or something like that. But that, I mean, I agree. I think having the interference protects both of your guys, because you don't want to take one away from the other right now. They're both on stream. I mean, you can't do it to Aleister Black. His month back.
Yeah.
You can't just have him start losing. And Carmelo Hayes, you're trying to build.
Yeah.
So you also have to keep him, kind of protect him as well. So I agree. I wasn't a big fan of it, understood completely why. So it kind of made me not care about it. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. Setting up. Got it. Protect your guys for right now. Because like you said, there'll be a match later on. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah. And then we get the Alexa Bliss segment about winning the Money in the Bank qualifier match, and then gets distracted by seeing Charlotte in the hallway. They talk about how they were friends at one point, because back in NXT, she was kind of like a mentor. And of course, Charlotte being Charlotte is very heel. She's very like heelish rather. And she's just waiting.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, right. I'm like, girl, you do. Stop playing.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But, and then this was a huge surprise, because then we see Julia come out of Nick Aldis's office. And Nick is like, you're looking at the newest member of the SmackDown roster. And then real quick, before we end that segment, I saw this and I was like, wait a minute. First of all, are we not having a draft anymore? Is that not a thing?
I mean, at this point, the draft was what? Wasn't the draft like 3 months ago? I mean, you're calling people up. You got to just find a way to move them on, unfortunately, because you have to. You have to lock them into a show, and sometimes, when it comes to call-ups from NXT and stuff like that, you can't have them in the draft because the draft happened not too long ago. So,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, but there should be some kind of more of a I don't want to say a storyline about like a free agency or something like that, but should be kind of something fun there. But I mean, I'm happy either way, because I've become such a huge fan of Julia.
Yeah,
like man, she's moving up with a missile on my female superstars list. Like she's dope.
Yeah. But it just kind of got me thinking, because I was like, okay, wait a minute. She just is a new signee to SmackDown. And then also one of the commentators, when JC Mateo was out, he was like, yeah, one of the hottest free agents is now on SmackDown. And I was like, so we're just signing people left and right. We just, Nick Aldis just got a budget to do whatever he wants.
Shit, why not? No, here's the checkbook. Like, Eric, don't do what Eric Bischoff did, please. Well, no, I think also this once again also points to your point last week that we talked about, where her and Perez were still being referred to as NXT.
Yeah.
Now she's officially signed to SmackDown. So that's why I think they were doing NXT from NXT from NXT from NXT. And now locked in.
Yeah, makes sense. But then to finish off that segment, Charlotte walks into Nick Aldis's office to talk about Money in the Bank, and which we later find out what gets locked in. But then we see the Tiffany versus Nia promo, how she cashed in on her, that whole story, and why we're having this match to begin with as a main event. And then we get Drew McIntyre coming out to the ring to respond to Damian Priest, tells them that the vortex that they've been in for the last year is the thing that makes him relevant, and that he's obsessed with me. And I was just like, hop off, dude. All right. Damian Priest got a street named after him in the Bronx, New York. All right. Drew, you ain't got no street. You ain't got nothing. All right.
No, they're gonna rename fucking. Where's he from? Scotland. They're gonna rename Scotland as McIntyreland. All right, what are you talking about? It's gonna be crazy. No, fun promo. Like I said, two guys who could just be angry and just come out. And McIntyre's great on the mic, giving a quick 3 minutes. And I say quick 3 minutes, like that's quick when you're standing on a mic in front of 12,000 people.
Yeah.
But no, he's solid. I thought it was what you needed to do also to sell the match. Like, okay, you wanted this, you called me out like on a video package. Well, I'm coming right now and telling you it's going down. I'm ready. I'm gonna put you away because I'm, like you said, I'm the only reason you're relevant. So I'm just gonna finish you and be done with this. I hope Priest smokes this boy so bad, but it's not going to happen. If anything, it would be a tight match, but it's definitely going to be a tight match. I mean, this is amazing, but I'm hoping for Priest. I'll tell you right now, my fun booking pick is going to be Damian Priest. I'll do it right now.
There you go. No, I agree. And one of my notes that I put down for this segment, based on the episode thus far, was good way to close up some stories or create some stories before heading into Saturday night's main event, but then also leaving things open for Money in the Bank and SummerSlam going forward. So definitely a cool way to, of doing things. I'm very happy with it so far. But then we get Solo Sikoa coming out, interrupting Drew McIntyre's walkout because he's about to jump into his qualifying match against Rey Fenix and Big Jim, and for the men's qualifying match. And pretty solid match, very entertaining.
Solid match. Couple things.
Okay, let me have it. Let the world have it.
This is pre-match. This isn't even match. This is pre-match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Solo comes out, flanked by Fatu and JC Matthew, and McIntyre stops, and you tell he looks at Fatu, looks at the belt, and then like Sikoa puts his hand, like, nah, back it up, let him out. We got things to worry about here.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, cool, great. Big Jim, props to WWE for giving him that little spot in front to talk before he came in. Like, okay, we're gonna try and see if we can push him. Let's have him say the thing. Get that, cash that, be that. Like, okay, cool, fine. Rey Fenix. I don't like that they have just taken the same mold for Penta's name and have just written Phoenix in there. Because if you look,
it's similar.
It's the same mold. It's just different letters.
Right.
I don't like that.
But that's on purpose, though.
Give me his own thing.
No, that's on purpose.
They're not the Lucha Brothers yet. And this is going to be, I'm annoyed when it happens because it's going to happen soon because unfortunately, Rey isn't getting a lot of traction on SmackDown now. He's performing in great matches, but Penta's been winning. Yeah. And Penta's hot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see a cool down on Penta in this solo push. Do not. And I love Rey. I love Phoenix. I want them to push him more too. But I understand, rough spots, things like that. But so that was prior to the match. Match was good. I mean, the proper person won. Mm-hmm. Solo won, and that makes total sense because if you're playing this bloodline angle and eventually you're going to have this blow up with him and Fatu, and when it happens, it's going to be glorious.
Yeah.
But when does it happen? Does he win Money in the Bank and come after Fatu's belt? And then say, you know what? I don't need the bullshit. I got to take that from you so I can show that I'm still the guy. Who knows? But the right person won. Solid match. Quite content.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was definitely entertained with the match. A lot of great spots. And then towards the end, after Solo gets the win, what I liked and didn't like about it, because I didn't know how to feel about it until it happened, was after Solo gets the win, we get LA Knight coming out, starting up a ruckus again, and then Nick Aldis is like, you know what? LA Knight is gonna go against JC Mateo, and it's gonna happen right now. And I'm like, dude, he's not even in ring gear. Like, he's in jeans and a V-neck. I'm like, let the guy
Yeah, man.
You know,
hey, he's the enforcer, man. Those are fighting clothes, bro. You've seen Lionheart. You've seen, all these street fighting movies. Like, yeah, man. Van Damme fighting in a pair of jeans and a gray shirt. You're like, yeah, I totally believe this. I totally do.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was great for to be able to have the debut of JC Mateo in terms match wise. What's happened, with this and that backstanding moonsault was for a man of that size to be able to do that and clear it and not be like he's going to break his neck.
Yeah.
Like to clear that the way he did was like, holy crap. Like that's absolutely unbelievable. But no, I think in terms of, because you also got to remember that the reason Solo won that is because the boys got involved.
Right.
And, so they took away, Phoenix hit JC Mateo or whatever, and then was celebrating just long enough to get Samoan spike. So that played in there too. But so La Noche coming down and inserting himself again, I thought was fine. And once again, a great way to have this beginner match. Long way for me to get to the exact point that I started with.
Yeah, no, but but that actually is funny because I put that in my notes too. I was like, that standing moonsault was wild. The fact
was
that
crazy.
the guy is brutal strength and like, yeah, man, it definitely turned out to be a great match. And overall gets the win due to Solo Sikoa distraction at that point. Right. But no, super good. I mean, like, I just was a little caught off guard. I was really invested this episode, and I was like, "What? No, but okay, I'm cool. I'm good." That's why we talk about these things. You know what I mean? Get it all out.
It's like therapy, man. You gotta get it out. Sometimes you just gotta say it out loud, and then it's gone.
Exactly. But then we get a replay of last week's SmackDown with Andrade and Rey Fenix getting the win over Berto and Angel Garza. And then Santos just going off on Berto in the ring. And for the last time, because Berto's like, no me jodas, way. I mean, that's what I think he said. And he just like slapped his hand out of the way and just walks out. So
that's what I think he said. Not 100% sure, but no me jodas, way is sure.
Yeah.
I see now because I saw it. I'm like, okay, like I was half in and out because I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, wait, paying attention, and then something happened with Apollo behind me. And I'm like, okay, so I didn't. So now I have to go back and see. Now I have to like phonetically lip read and see what he says because if No Me Jodas Way comes out, then that's going on the t-shirts from now on. It's Primos for life, and then right underneath it, No Me Jodas Way.
Like, but then ultimately leading to the Santos and Angel Garza segment in the locker room about trying to bridge the gap between them and Berto because he's been unreachable at this point because obviously he's upset. And it's very important that we bring him back home, Santos' words, because ultimately there's an opportunity that's going to be presented and they want to talk about it over a sit-down fancy dinner. I didn't say fancy, but I just assume it's a fancy dinner.
Like no me jodes, like so just assumptions all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy was wearing a nice suit, so I was like, oh, it's fancy.
Right, he's not going to be going to the hot dog vendor with the suit on like that, right?
Okay. Exactly. So and then he said something very like cryptic. He was like, it would be ashamed if all of this would be ruined by one person's selfishness. And like all up in Angel's face. I'm like, dude, back off. Like, let him breathe.
Santos is the selfish one, which is awesome. Like, I love Santos. I love this whole thing. I wish they did more with it. I'm not sure where it's going, but I wish they did more with it. Like, because Santos is great. The goddesses are fantastic. Like,
yeah.
And once again, to our point a couple times ago, we were speaking about it. It sucks that you have to, you use your Latinos against your Latinos and you keep your luchadors against each other. But the speed these guys moves and the way they do things are absolutely fantastic. They need to find a way to do this more, which is kind of the annoying factor of SmackDown going down to 2 hours. Like we said, you're going to have to trim things, and I have a feeling things like this are going to get lost in the shuffle, and it's a damn shame.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely agree with that. And then we get a surprising Shinsuke Nakamura promo. Awesome Japanese subtitled stuff. But I was like, why is he coming out of the fold out of nowhere? But then I realized later on in the promo, oh, this is a call out to La Noche and Aleister Black for their triple threat, qualifying match for Money in the Bank for next Friday. Mm-hmm. Which, once I saw the banner, the visual, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good match. Like I'm looking forward to it.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. I really like Shinsuke Nakamura, man.
Yeah.
I'm really annoyed that he keeps getting lost in the shuffle of things.
Yeah.
And he's not nearly as big as he could be. I mean, him in New Japan was just
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And you know what? And now that you mentioned that, like, I was really, really upset the way that when he won the Rumble and went against AJ for the belt, I was really upset on how that ended because I wanted Shinsuke to win. But at the time, McMahon was running things. He wasn't going to let Shinsuke win, and he gave it to AJ. But it should have been the other way around.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I was just as mad because I was like, he needs to be the guy. Like at some point, you have to. There's two guys in recent history that in WWE that I've been like, they haven't gotten it, and I felt that they should have, even if just for a little while. Shinsuke 1 and Samoa Joe was 2.
Yes.
I think Joe had a couple chances, and I think it's crap that Samoa Joe did not. Yes. That Samoa Joe, man, he's just man. Yeah, I love Samoa Joe. So
yeah.
It's annoying. So, but in that Shinsuke vein, like these are the two guys that I'm like, at some point you should have. I mean, because you can always go back. Booker T should have had it. Yeah. You know, he had a feud with Hunter, and he should have beaten him there. Like, but there was no way Hunter and Vince were gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, but hopefully Shinsuke wins, and it's gonna be like I agree with you. This gonna be a hell of a match. Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura, and La Noche. Man, come on.
Yeah, and then we get the next visual, which is Julia versus Charlotte versus Zelina Vega, which is another triple threat qualifier match that I'm looking forward to because it's like, whoa, what do we do at SmackDown?
I'm quite excited.
Yeah.
I love Zelina Vega. I'm becoming a fan of Julia and Charlotte.
Did you want to get got? It's just what I want to see.
I don't know, man. This whole thing. I want Julia to do this. I want it to be her.
It should be her.
I mean, Zelina's got her championship now, right? And you just put that on her. You gave her the Queen of the Ring. Well, you didn't give her. She earned and she worked for the Queen of the Ring. And I think having her win Money in the Bank real quick, because she just got that belt not too long ago. So I think she's kind of out. But I'm hoping it's Julia, because once again, with the Charlotte aspect of just keep handing everything to the 4 horsewomen, like
it's getting old.
Right.
And then for the final segment, I will, go through this really quickly and then you'll fill in the blanks because that's what you do, basically.
Blanks.
Basically, Tiffany Stratton's getting ready for her match. Jade Cargill goes, steps up to her and says, "Hey, it doesn't matter who wins the match because she's coming for that belt because she is the next one." While Naomi is lurking in the background. Did you see that? Like a little creeper,
So, lurking, definitely the word she used. The adjective, she's like,
yes, she was. I was like, what is
happening here? What the hell?
For sure. I saw that. I was like, ooh, lurking.
Son of a Jesus, man. I'm looking over my shoulder all of a sudden, like.
Yeah. But, then we lead into the final match of the night, which is Tiffany and Nia. Decent match. Crazy ending, though, with Naomi coming out with a chair, distraction. Jade comes out to save the day. And then ultimately, the best part of the night, and I hate to say this, but like, Tiffany Stratton just cracking Nia Jax in the face with the chair because that looked rough. I had to rewind it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh, dang, she really got her. It was rough. Like her head was bleeding. And I hope, she's recovering from that and got stitches and really got that cleaned up and hope it doesn't take her out of action. But man, that was concerning.
I mean, like, because you know it's coming and it's like, girl, get your hands up. You know a chair shot is coming. You know a chair shot's coming. It's scripted. You know the chair just and sell it. Of course, sell it. And you know how to sell it. You're a pro wrestler. You know how to sell it. But I was just like, oh, ow.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
Damn, girl. Get him up. Get him faster. Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah. And it was rough. It was rough because my first thought was like that conversation in the back. Like once they're both back there,
Right.
like I could imagine Nia going up to her and being like, "Hey, do you know how to do a drop kick?" Because that really like cracked me. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Like you said, she could be like, "Don't you know how to put your hands up?" Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
You knew the spot was coming. Like come on.
It was just tough. It was just tough.
No, listen, I mean, the couple spots in that match, and it stinks because I feel like most of the bad spots were the women's matches in this particular episode of SmackDown. But couple bad spots, but great way to kind of build the Jade and Naomi storyline while having the Nia and Tiff match. Yes, could clean up a bunch of things, but you had to do something somewhere, right? I guess I'm not sure, but yeah, okay, solid match. Not solid match, but okay, way to end it. Championship match, great.
Yeah, but overall, very good episode of SmackDown. We get at the end when Tiffany is cheering and standing tall with the belt. We get executive producer I always say Triple H, but it's Paul Levesque and Lee Fittings, but in blue font, right? Because it's usually red and white on Raw, but this time it's like blue and white on SmackDown. So I was like,
the blue brand, man, the blue brand.
But
so sudden.
But overall, super happy with the episode. Super happy with wrestling this week. Super happy with sports in general this week. Can't really complain. Everything's good, man, and I'm very looking forward to next week's Tampa invasion of WWE, because I'm sure not just WWE talent's going to be in town. I'm pretty sure they already started pouring in now because they usually stay here the whole week. But then probably after Raw,
the time schedule and shit.
Yeah, and then I'm sure other independent promotions will be doing some shows during that time, because if you have all those people zoned in on wrestling, you want to get as many shows as you can. You do like a 3:00 at a brewery, in Tampa somewhere, and then you head over to the show. You know what I mean? Like a good way to so.
That's you look for everything you can find, man. Just keep apprised of those message boards, wrestling message boards and stuff like that. And
yes, keep us posted, please. Let us know.
See what's going on, please. If anything is happening, Eddie's going to be there. And then also when SummerSlam comes here, I just saw tickets for was it FanFest or whatever?
Yeah, Fanatics.
Available, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta see how much this costs. It's in my backyard. The Javits. I can be at the Javits in 20 minutes. Like it's so. But hopefully you have a good time. You see a couple people. Maybe get a little Primos for Life shot with them, and the pictures and everything. That's right. Hold up the shirt. That's right. Eddie's working on some shirts, some hats. He's working on mock-ups and draw-ups and things like that. Ooh. So anybody who said, hey, you know what, we'd like a shirt. I mean, we're prepared to pay, but the shirt, but who knows? I'm getting the shirts. Hopefully, because once again, as I said, things are coming down the pipeline. We're always working to get bigger, better, and do more things to keep this podcast going and keep the fun rolling as we're constantly laughing and smiling whenever we have these tapings. And Eddie, we're gonna be talking a lot next week because it's 4 nights of straight stuff. So I mean, you're gonna be really tired because I'm gonna be like, all right, as soon as you're done, let's tape.
I'm ready.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, no, but you pretty much covered all our bases as always. Just catch us on TikTok, Instagram, primosforlife.com. We're on YouTube. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Music. We're on Apple Podcasts.
Spotify.
We are just like all over the place. And yes, we are working on some t-shirts because we're trying to give the listeners, the people, what they want. They keep asking, hey, I want this, I want that. Well, we're working on some stuff coming soon. And a bunch of awesome exclusive episodes as well that we're going to be dropping very soon. And just more things, just more. We're giving you guys what you guys want.
Kudos to everyone who listens, because I walked into, after work, I walked into the bar by the job that I always go to. I've been going to for as long as I've had that job, 15 years. I've been going to that bar. I used to live right around the corner from there.
Yeah.
So I go in and there's a couple guys from the restaurant 2 blocks away, and they're like, we want on. How can we get on? We'd love to talk wrestling, because someone told them, like, oh yeah, Ariel's got a wrestling podcast. And they listened, they're like, we want. I was like, contact us. Let me know. Hit me up. We're down. If you guys are down, we're down. So to everybody, please, just let us know. Let us know. We would love to be able to converse with other people about stuff that we love doing. It's great.
Yes. I second all of that. Pero it's about that time, and Primo, como siempre, you know what you gotta do, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's a joy and a pleasure to be able to sit here and converse with my Primo for a good 45 minutes about wrestling, and that you guys are here listening and giving us the time of day and the time that you do. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much, and we will see you when we see you. Go Knicks.
We will see you when we see you. Go Knicks. Take care, everybody.